Hello, fellow puny mortals. It is I, Zesty the Lemon, and I'm back. I know I promised to come back around March, but I'm here now, in July, with some banger videos that I'm planning to make, and some pretty interesting content, I feel like. So for this video, I'll be participating in a game jam, which is hella fun, and yeah, let's get into the video. Now, you guys might be wondering, what the hell even is a game jam? Well, you see, a game jam is basically when a bunch of no-life losers who know how to code, such as myself, come together in this contest type thing, and basically make a game with a limited amount of time based around a certain theme. It's really fun, but it's really unhealthy for your mental health, I bet. To be completely honest, I don't feel like I made a pretty great game, but it was a really fun learning experience, or at least that's what all the game developers tell themselves to sleep better at night. And I was able to finish a game that had fairly polished mechanics, which was, pretty satisfying to do. And yeah, with all that said, I present to you the making of Priceless Pigs. Pretty cool visuals, horrible gameplay. Alright, so logically, step one of basically any project, not just game development, is thinking of an idea. So as you can see here, past me thought this was enough brainstorming, right? Just like, oh, what's related to free, right? Like flying, maybe shopping, like free samples, prison, like, escaping, countries, so like propaganda and oppression, which would be pretty cool. And then I settled here with farm animals, and you have to escape. Like, ignore my whole horrible writing though. So yeah, basically I wrote down some trap ideas I could add. Right, I was only able to put like one of these in. Actually, no, two. Anyways, yeah. So like some levels, a really shitty storyline. I'll tell you later, but I wasn't able to implement. And yeah, I was feeling bold about this. I don't know how dumb past me was, but past me actually thought that this was enough. Okay, I saw multiple game developers complain about how they didn't plan enough, right? And I was like, damn, I got this. This is the best planned out thing ever. Like, world governments can't plan better than this. Okay, I am the best planner in the world, which I'm not. This was foreshadowing. This little mirror board, right? It doomed my entire project. So at the end, basically, I came up with this idea where, kind of like in that one Little Big Planet level, where you have to feed yourself to that one like big bunny demon, like because some burger told you to, right? Where you get like separated, where you basically have to control a big horde of characters, right? And then carry them through a bunch of obstacles while trying to have the least amount of casualties and like bring them to some sort of end point. Only as I said, I had no planning whatsoever, and I had so many different ideas that scope creep completely destroyed, ruined my game. Step 2. Now you see, any logical, smart person would start working on the base gameplay, right? So they could spit out, some finished products before adding in cool features to make the game more fun, right? Well, you see, I am not a smart person, so I did the opposite. First, I added the base following system that the pigs will use, so they would follow the brown little dot there, right? Which is understandable, right? The base system. But what I did next is unimaginable, unspeakable, horrible. Now you see, I like good graphics, right? I will do anything to get good graphics. So the next thing I did was add this hella fancy particle, which made it, look really pretty when the pig, or pink square currently, exploded. My gluttonous rampage for nice graphics when I just start didn't stop there. Alright, next added this hella fancy bloodstain system, which rotated the bloodstain randomly, making it look like each pink cube exploded and left a permanent stain, reminding you of your failure of not being able to save the poor pigs, not letting them escape from the slaughterhouse, slaughtering them yourself. The next thing I added wasn't so severely useless, but I made it so basically the camera slowly moved upwards, so you couldn't just stay in one area rounding up all the pigs. Everyone in my reviews ended up hating it, but too late now. Now, my step 3 was hella messed up, right? I basically spent a week out of the 2 weeks I had dreaming about how amazing my game is going to be. And although I didn't realize it then, this step was the thing that ended up destroying my game, like all my plans, and making my game practically unplayable. Although you should still go play it. Link in the description. So yeah, let me just quickly show you a couple things that I messed up, and maybe some of you do a game jam, you can learn from me. So the first thing I messed up was I tried too many new things. Because although a ton of game jammers always recommend to try like a bunch of new things, you shouldn't go too far, in my opinion, because you want to make a decent game in those in the limited amount of time. And yeah. So basically, I tried to make a game that's completely out of my like genre scope style thing. So I usually make like top-down shooters or top-down puzzles. This wasn't really a puzzle or a shooter. This was like, I guess it was kind of like a puzzle, but it really wasn't. And I also tried a completely new style that's really different from pixel art, which I normally do, which also kind of screwed my game over and made it look pretty damn ugly. Alright, so my second like massive error was, as I mentioned before, I didn't have a solid plan or a solid schedule. So I ended up destroying my sleep schedule, not being able to like add in all the things I wanted, so I just basically ended up having an incomplete game, and things like that. This probably could have been easily avoidable if I like used the Trello board or continued using my Miro board. But as I said, I didn't. I really just liked, like coding and drawing the art, which I messed up, as I said. And I ended up only being able to add in one level, although with my like view of the game, I wanted 3 with a boss battle, which I've never done before. So that's also just like over speculation of what I couldn't do. So my final big error I can think of is I didn't have any playtesting done, except of myself, and I was only able to pass the one level I added, once before handing the game in. Okay? So basically, as I said, I didn't have a good schedule, therefore I wasn't able to like finish the game before the due date, right? And I handed in the game on the last day before I like left until the jam was over, because I had to like go somewhere. If I had playtesters, right, and I finished the game a bit earlier so they could test it, I would have avoided so many issues, because for example, as I said, a ton of people hated the like moving screen thing, a ton of people couldn't understand what's happening, although I said it in the like description, and a ton of other things, and this was really easy to avoid, and I'm actually pretty pissed that I didn't. Alright, quickly, step 3.5, because after editing my entire video I realized that my devlog is concerningly miserable, and it hardly shows any of my positive progress, and I just like complain about how horrible I plan and stuff. So before I get to the most depressing step, step 4, let me just show you some of the cool things I did during the week, and maybe some things that I learned. For example, one of the pretty cool features that I didn't implement into the final version of the game because it didn't work like 100% of the time, and it just didn't really feel right with the game. Well, no, it did, but I couldn't add it in because I had a ton of other problems. Was this pretty cool door system you see on screen right now. I'm actually really proud of how it looks, or not how it looks, but like how it works. And I'll probably use that code that I made for it sooner or later in some other game, because I'm actually working on a few projects right now. Another thing I'm pretty proud of is this pretty cool explosive and chainsaw system, where basically the chainsaw system is just like an animation, which I'm also really proud of because I didn't animate before. But anyways, the explosive system, so that orange square, is basically like each time one of the pigs touches it, it waits a certain amount of ticks and then explodes, spawning in this big explosion effect. It didn't work well at the beginning, but I had to revamp it. But I actually really liked how it turned out, so yeah. Another pretty cool animated thing that I made was this little bob effect, as you can see right here, for the title of the game, that was inspired by the Minecraft splash text effect. So yeah, I think it looks amazing, and I'm extremely proud of it, actually. Speaking of the title in the main menu, here is my complete main menu. You can go to the credits section and to the level section, which didn't exist at the time of recording this clip. But I really like how it turned out. It was really smooth, because I used to have problems with with scene transitions because they normally like created a massive lag spike. And I think it just like looks really nice in general with the cool bloodstain effect I drew myself. Now, although this have been a pretty big time waster, I made these two drawings, right, which I made digitally without like any experience of making digital art apart from pixel art before this, to serve as the title background and the splash screen and all of that, right? I feel like they turned out pretty good for first attempts, and that big demon thing is kind of extra because he was supposed to be the main antagonist of the game, right? And like the storyline villain and the boss. But as I said, I didn't have time to add in any of that, so now he's just like this demon thing that stands there. But I think he still looks cool, so I'm not complaining. So the final like big step, right, was okay, I'm not gonna read this, just read it, like pause the video, but whatever. Anyways, uh I didn't have the game like playable at the point, well, when I had like 3 days left, right? Which is bad, obviously, because although I did code during like the step 3 phase a decent amount, I mostly added extra things such as like a game over screen. Actually, no, I didn't add a game over screen, even that. Anyways, I added like the entire menu. I added some special effects. I created the maps. I added a bunch of like fancy little Easter eggs. I did a ton of extra things. And right now, right, or like when I was here at this point, I had like 3 days left, and I didn't have a game over screen. I didn't really have a good starting system. I didn't have a decent map. Most of my systems were really broken, and I had to like redo them. And in general, I was like really buggy, and you really couldn't play the game. I'm pretty sure the first level wasn't even passable. From the sounds of what I just said, you'd think I'd learn from my mistakes and actually start working on the gameplay, but of course I wouldn't do that. As I said, I'm not that smart. So obviously, I went in and decided to invent this whole new, brand new way of making maps, which is a really bad way. Let me explain it. Basically, I draw out the map, right? And then I put a collider on it when I put it into Unity. This sounds great and all, right? Because it's really simple, right? I just go draw the thing, and then just put it in the game and it's already, basically. But first of all, you can't change the map at all in Unity. Basically, each time you want to change the map a bit, you have to delete the entire map and create a new one. And second of all, those files, just so you couldn't really see the pixels, right, had to be like massive. Okay, I think the map that I used was 26,000 pixels tall, which is a lot. So basically, if you have a bad computer, it would instantly be deep fried the moment you load up a level. But obviously I didn't think of that when I was just doing it, so I'm sorry if you play my game and you have a bad computer, it might not be healthy for it. After that, I drew some sprites for the game to actually start working on the visuals of the game, because before that I basically just used those pink squares as you could see in the old clips. So as you can see here, I have this little cute pig sprite, which I'm actually fairly proud of, and those fence and spike sprites that I'm not too proud of. And I also added this pretty cute animation to the pigs where they went and like squashed and squashed, uh, like as if they were bouncing and walking, because they didn't feel like animating each limb one by one. Actually, I just didn't know how to do it. So another thing that I added, which I should have added at the very beginning, was a game over and a win screen. So you can see the game over screen on the screen right now. I'm sorry I don't have a clip for it. But anyways, it basically just appeared whenever the integer or the amount of pigs that you had went down to 0 and just spawns it on your screen. This was pretty simple. The win screen you can see right now is a bit more complicated. You see, basically it appeared whenever all of your pigs, right, crossed the finish line, which you won't see if you want to see it past the game, so, you know, free advertising. Anyways, when it checked that all of the pigs have passed the finish line, and then it spawned in another, this screen right here. So, yeah, that's basically how it works. It's fairly simple, especially the game over one. And I'm pretty proud of how it works, although I spent a tad bit too much time on this. Although this isn't the last thing I added, also during the step 4 phase, basically kind of like the final finishing touches, were some sound effects I made by remixing the Terraria splat effects, you know, that that you hear when you kill some mobs. Uh, and then Also, I added some like wind howling, I added some music, I added some like fancy particles which made it kind of look like it was foggy or like smoggy, that covered the screen. Uh, but I basically can't show any of these things uh, in this video, so I guess you'll have to play the game to find out. That's how I'm advertising my game, by the way. With all that said, I guess it's the end of the video. I really enjoyed doing the game jam, and I really enjoyed editing the video, probably more than the game jam. So I'll be definitely doing much more of this in the future. And I'm sorry I didn't upload for like ages, right? I'll probably upload every... Okay, actually I won't promise anything, right? I'll try to upload more, at least. And yeah, I have some projects that are on the way, possibly. And you know what? Just like tell me what I should do. I'll basically make any video. Comment, preferably, or you can like the video. I just prefer comments because they give back criticism and stuff. But likes are also always great. And yeah, subscribe if you're new around here if you like it. And yeah, I guess that's it. Bye.